Oh, good.
Yeah,
Good morning.
it's it's
It's
it, it's night here in the UK.
I know, and it's night in Nigeria, so it's still morning here
Yeah,
in the
yeah.
United States. Because I actually traveled. I'm in New Mexico, and I
Oh
was like,
wow.
no, I cannot sleep. I need to like
Oh
finish this
God.
engagement before going to bed.
Thank you
Yes,
so much.
is the light very good? Can you? Because
The
I know
light,
you're going to
yeah,
upload.
the light is
Oh,
very
okay.
good. I can see you clearly.
All right, good. All right, thank you for having me. Thank you so much. And he said he respects me. I respect him too because I see a lot of things that he's doing. Of course, when you're impacting the nursing community, you're doing a lot. That's impact one nurse and definitely get another nurse, and that's how we all grow, right? So we are doing what we can do in our own little space so that the community can grow. So yes, as I rightly said, my name is Kafayat Popoola. I am a registered nurse. I'm a Niger trained nurse. I tell people that, and as much as I love that part of me because nursing in Nigeria actually trained me to be who I am today. I've been a nurse for over 14 years, specifically in the ER role. I transitioned into mental health recently, and I'm running my master's in nursing in the Psychiatric-Mental illness practitioner program. So, yep, I'm going to try and make it as interactive as possible. I know people have a lot of questions they want to ask, so it might not be what I talk about. So I won't bore you with all details about what and what, but I'll tell you some specifics, then we can ask questions and we'll take it from there. So United States of America, why United States of America? I actually wanted UK initially, then NCLEX, but you still need an agency or an agency to bring you into the US because of the immigration process. So yes, United States of America is known as Yankee for most people in Nigeria now. When they say you're in Yankee, you're in US, of course. So we have 50 states. The capital is Washington, D.C. Our president is, of course, President Biden, and our flag color is blue, red, and white. Why USA for nurses? We are short staffed right now. Like it will forever continue because the late boomers that are leaving the market, old nurses are leaving too, and the new nurses cannot even make up for the gap. And apart from that, so many people are leaving the bedside because there are different. There's so many specialties in nursing, like so many, and you just realize that it is when you get here, you're like, if you're a med surg nurse, you're a med surg, you can't know any other thing because nobody expects you to know what oncology does. Nobody expects you to know what pediatric nursing do. So it's all about what you want to do. So yes, so USA is a land of the free. If I'm going to use that word, yes, it's a land of the free. There are so many opportunities. Your hard work will be rewarded. It depends on what you're ready to sacrifice. Seriously, you can so many opportunities. Like I'm telling you, so unlimited opportunities. But what are you willing to sacrifice to get those opportunities is the cocoa. So hard work is rewarded. There's career growth, certification courses. Once you do your certification like this, there's somebody somewhere waiting for that certification. And yes, you are going education. You can go to school as much as you want, continue reading. Diversity and inclusion. Nobody cares who you are. Are you black? Are you white? Are you a Muslim? Are you a Christian? It doesn't really matter. There's job satisfaction, and that's the focus is on what you want to do, right? So you have to like, okay, what do I really want? And that is what determines the level of job satisfaction you get. So the standard of living too, as much as you live within your means, it's reasonable and it's all right, then of course there's money. Yeah. Don't realize it. So yeah. So what is required for you to be a nurse in the United States? I tell people the first thing for you to be a nurse in the United States is your license. as a registered nurse in your home country. As long as you are done, you graduated from accredited nursing program, you have your active license in your home country, definitely you can, you have already succeeded in getting that first criteria of the flow, or you've checked it off. So definitely you can proceed. Damola, did you raise your hand? You can type in the box. I saw your hand is raised. Yeah. So
okay. So for Dami, I think she probably have a question. She has a question. So we're going to take our question after the class. So do you just continue with the presentation?
Oh, okay. So yes. So graduation, then your active license. And for some agencies, they require you have 1 or 2 years experience in a 100-bedded hospital or more. And that is, the experience is actually agency based. Even if you are self-sponsored, well, most of the time when you are self-sponsored, they kind of waive their expectation because you have crossed the ordeal of having to do the NCLEX yourself, right? So IELTS is a requirement for most states, because each state have their requirements, and that's another thing we're going to talk about. Each state have their requirements, so you need to do that. You need to pass your NCLEX. You need to find a recruiter, apply for your green card, do your visa, and yes, get a position. So what do you need for? Oh yeah, of course, I have my license. You're going to need a passport. You need your IELTS. That is very important, because see, all of these things, and the process toward licensure in US can be really complex, and it's discouraging because it's a long process. And I must tell you that, but at the end of the day, worth it. I started my immigration journey in 2016, and I didn't leave Nigeria until 2019. So sometimes it can be like that. It could be faster for some people, but I've not seen anybody that it's been faster than 2 years for, actually. So yes. So you might wonder, why are people still going through this stress when it's this cumbersome? The truth is that, seriously, as long as you are documented in the United States, you have the same opportunity as a citizen, except of course you can't vote, and there's some government job that they reserve for citizens alone, So that's basically it. And like I told you, we have a lot of shortage right now, and it's really, really difficult. So you once you have, I like to repeat this. Once you have your license and you are ready, you need to register with the CGFNS, but because United States expects you to evaluate your certificate through the Commission of Graduate Nursing Service Program, they need you to do what we call CES. That's a certificate evaluation service. They need you to evaluate your service. So you're going to register you're going to go online, go to CGFNS. You're going to register with them. You send in your transcript. The school has to send in your transcript to them. You cannot do it yourself, right? And some people use RES. So there are actually 2 bodies that they really use, the CGFNS or the RES. And the RES is Educational Records Evaluation Service. So is that one of the 2 bodies that is actually really recognized here? So you send in your transcript. They have there's this way they fill the form. Once you fill the form, they send the form to your school, or you have to print it out, take it to school. The school will fill out their own portion, and the school will send it to them. The problem with CGFNS is CGFNS take their time. And another challenge is, in case there is a transition or change in power of authority in your school of nursing or school of midwifery, it's going to cause another delay for you. Like, okay, they have the signature of the principal or the authority figure of each school. So if there's a change in that signature, CGFNS is going to send a message back to you that they are not accepting that documentation. You have to come back to them like, okay, the school has to resend whatever documentation you have sent initially. So yes, they really delay people, but whatever, you need them. So you have to make sure that it's done rightly. Then you have to do evaluation, where you have to do your license evaluation. A form will be sent to the Nursing and Midwifery Council too for evaluation, and the council will send it back to them. As much as it's a long process, for some people, CGFNS can take about 3 months. For some people, it takes about 6 months. It depends on the back and forth, or how soon or how early they get your documents, and that is it. So I employ that if you are ready and you want to start, make sure that you get all your facts ready. Is this a new person? Is there a change of power recently? Do we need to make sure that they have the signature, because if not, you have to start spending the money. So when you apply for that, you create an account on CGMS, you are paying, it's not free service. So you're paying for that. Once they get all your forms, the license validation form from the school, from Nursery and Midwifery Council, they get your transcript from your school and any other supplemental form they need. Sometimes they ask for your secondary school education. Sometimes they don't, but so they might have to ask. So just get your mind prepared. And if you are working with an agency, they expect you to fill an authorization to release information because they believe it is your information. So you need them to either release it to the third party, and that is your agency. So if you want them to do that, you have to fill that form. If not, they won't be able to release that form to your agency. So after that is done, while you are filling that CES form, you are going to choose a board of nursing you want to work with. Most people that are doing this on their own go through Texas because Texas Board of Nursing is easier. Texas Board of Nursing does not expect you to have IELTS at the initial phase, though you're still going to need IELTS when you're going to obtain your visa screen certification. We'll get there, But it's Texas Board of Nursing is they're kind of lenient. Like I told you, each Board of Nursing have their requirements. So, and that is why most people go in through Texas Board of Nursing. So you write what you need. So after you have filled Texas Board of Nursing as the Board of Nursing you want to, because that's the Board of Nursing they're going to send your credential to or your evaluation result to. You now go to their page. You have to go to the page of Texas Board of Nursing to register. You apply to that state Board of Nursing. I think it's like $100. You pay for that, so that when CGFNS is done or when ERS is done with your evaluation, they will send it to the Board of Nursing. The Board of Nursing has your documentation already. They too also have information that they're going to ask from you, and that's it. Most times, the payment of the money is what causes issue for most people, but of course, it can always be sorted out. The Federal Board of Nursing expects you to have background check. They need your CES reports. And there's this exam they call the nursing jurisprudence exam. It's not particularly hard, but that's Texas Board of Nursing for you. You have to pass that exam, and that's it. Once you are done, once they have your evaluation result from CGFNS, they have your background check, you have done your jurisprudence exam, you've passed that, they have your criminal background check, then boom, they give you the authority to test. While you are doing that, you need to know that once you have the authority to test, then you are going to have to register for your NCLEX. And that's another $200. So once you register for your NCLEX, because you have your authorization, you are registering for your NCLEX, your CS report is with them already. They are okay, we've seen it. Your education is at par with what we have, or is at par with US education. So we accept your license and all of that. So go and test. You register for your NCLEX, you get your ATT, then you go for your exam, right? Once you pass your exam, then the immigration phase starts. And that is where you need an agency. Most of the time, your results, you get your results like immediately. Sometimes it happens. NCLEX exam is a total of 265 questions, and it's kind of shuffled, one hard test, if you fail one, they give you an easier question, then they give you an harder one until they can test your proficiency level. So you can either do a 75 question, or you can either do 265 question in 6 hours. And it doesn't matter, like you could do 75 questions and they'll stop you. That does not guarantee failure or success. But most of the time with 75 questions, kind of like, oh, I think I passed. And there are times people run out of questions, or they run out of time too, but they have a way they grade that. So that should not be, once your NCLEX is passed and you get your results within 48 hours, and you can always check on the nursing board platform, you see your name there, bagada. You have passed your exam, now you have your board exam, you have your US license, and yes, your USRN. Is that easy? The immigration part is actually the toughest part, actually. And I tell people, NCLEX is like the easiest part of it. Give or take, if there is no delay with CGFNS, if there is no delay with the Board of Nursing, if there's no delay with your visa application, because you can either do your NCLEX in USA, UK, South Africa. I don't know if it's, I think people are going to South Africa now. I went to the Philippines for my own, India, and some other countries. So it depends on if your process, all things being equal, if your process goes smoothly, you should get all those things done in 8 to 12 months. And then you are done. You have your USRN. So applying with an agency, it's dicey because they all have their requirements. They all have their, the good side, the bad side. You have what it takes, but you need to know what you want. Some will tell you, okay, because you have done your NCLEX, you are going to have to work with us for 2 years. We'll give you this, we'll give you that. Some will tell you they will pay you back for your NCLEX, or they'll pay you back for whatever you have spent for you to work this number of hours with them. Because either way, you cannot just come into the ESA like that. So there are a lot of agencies. We have Avant, which I came into the United States with. At the point I came in, they covered all my expenses. The CES reports, I didn't have to pay for that. They paid for it. They paid for my NCLEX. They paid for my trip to Philippines. They paid for my accommodation. But unfortunately, most of them are not doing that right now. So you have to self-sponsor yourself for NCLEX. Then when you are done, you have to now decide, do you want to go with Havant? Do you want to go with OGP? Do you want to go with Shearwater? Do you want to go with Interstaff and all of that? So that's kind of the process that it takes to, in like a summarized form. That's what it takes to get into where we are right now. So once you are done and you're passed, you have your agency that is applying for you. There's the US visa application require that you have, of course, your valid passports, and if you have any old passports, there's a form they will send for you to fill once your agency apply for you. And that is, the process is long. Once you pass, your agency will file for you. There's something we call the petition, USCIS petition. Once that petition is approved, and that's another thing that delay people in Nigeria. Sometimes some people, they get their petition denied. Some people, sometimes they get their petition, we call something REF, is request for more information. They need more information from your agency. I had REF during my own, so it kind of set me back a little bit. So after the REF, my agency was able to provide information for them, and that was okay. Then we proceeded to fill in the visa application form, and I submitted all civil documentation. They need your birth certificate at that point. As much as they are not going to collect your original from you, you are going to submit all these copies online. But when you are going for your visa interview, you need the original copy of your birth certificate, your marriage certificate, whatever death certificate, your medical examination, any affidavit or supporting documents you want to bring. See, if you have photo shoot pictures, please take it. If you have traditional pictures, just take anything that can convince them that especially if you are married and you have children, just take everything, because some counselors make it easy, some counselors don't. So just pack as much as you can. It can never be too much. And at that point, the point that you're going for interview already, your agency will send up supporting document. They will send your application, your employment letter, and all of that to you. So it's easier. And like I said, the visa screen certificate that I spoke about the other time that you might still need your IELTS for Board of Nursing. Once you are done with your NCLEX and you pass, you need what we call the visa screen. It's needed for all professionals coming into the United States, nurses, physiotherapists, and all of that. It's like a certificate that, okay, she has passed to, we've screened her, and yes, she can go for visa and all of that. So yes, you still have to apply for that through the CGFNS, and it's only CGFNS that is doing that. So even if you had initially used ERES for your evaluation, you still have to go back to CGFNS for the visa screen certificate. And I think that basically covers the process for coming into the United States. There are so many specialties in USA, like so many. We have cyber nursing, we have med-surg nursing, oncology nursing, pediatric nursing, as a nurse case manager, nurse administrator, nurse educator. I'm telling you, just think of a specialty and you'll get it. Public health nursing, travel nursing, and at that point, they don't expect you to know what is happening in the other field. Like if I'm a med-surg nurse, that means most times when you're a med-surg nurse, it's mostly general surgery, like appendicitis and all of, general surgery, abdominal and all of that surgery. They don't expect you to know what is going on in the ortho unit. They don't expect you to know what is going on in the neuro unit because you're not a neuro nurse. They don't expect you to know what is going on in the PCU because you're not a PCU nurse, right? So it kind of makes you focused on what you want to do. And that's why I said it depends on what you want. The process is long, but eventually it kind of makes sense. It kind of makes sense if you look at it holistically. So I'm going to let people ask questions. I have a lot of things that I have wrote down. I just don't want to keep talking and talking and talking and not really answering what people want. So please, if you want to ask questions, you can type in your questions in the chat box. Or I don't know how Nazabiodun wants it done. If you want people to talk, to ask their questions, because we need to talk about your career growth. I have education and schooling. I have the myth and the fact about some other things here. So Nazabiodun, I don't know how you want us to proceed. Do you want people to ask questions or do you want me to just continue and I can talk about the other things I have written out?
Well, to be honest with you, if I say people should ask questions now, the question will just keep flowing in and it might actually take much of our time, whereas important details will actually be left out. So I strongly advise that probably you just run through some of the key points of it. Then after all of your presentations, we'll take questions. Is that all right?
Oh, okay. Okay, good. That's no problem. So I'm going okay, for your license, once you're licensed in USA, like if you have Texas Board of Nursing license, I'm going to talk about licensure now. So if you have Texas Board of Nursing license, USA just introduced something we call compact state license recently. So that means some states are trying to come together like, okay, if you have this license, you can work in some other states. Some states are not doing it. So that means that if you go to those other states that are not part of the compact, it's not like Nigeria that, okay, once I'm registered in Lagos, even if I travel to Osun State or even if I travel to Ondo State, I will be able to work. No, it doesn't work that way here. Not all states are under the compact yet, but for those under the compact, once you have I got registered in Colorado when I came. It wasn't part of the compact then I got registered. You can have as much as you can have licenses everywhere. It is your call. But it's just that you have to make sure that you are fulfilling the requirements of maintaining those licensure that you have. You chose to have them. All the best to you. But make sure that you are maintaining the requirement. And if you don't, if you're supposed to renew your license and you don't renew it, that means your license is already, it's already expired and boom, until you need it again and you have to start all the process all over again, all of that. So you're expected to maintain your license. So right now, Texas is part of the compact state license. So that means if you have Texas Board of Nursing license, you can maybe work in North Dakota, you can work in some other states that are close to them, but some other states you cannot work there. When it comes to career growth, coming into the US, I advise people to come in, I was an ER nurse before I left Nigeria. So when I came in, my agency tried to ensure that I continued in the ER. So I got an ER swing bed position. I did that for a while. I was like, okay, is this what I really want to continue? And that is where specialty comes in. That is where you decide what you want and you choose what you want. So I can choose okay, I'm done with this part and I'll go and do certification course. And as long as you are certified, you've already taken that. You see people have certified emergency room nurse, certified critical registered nurse, certified method nurse, so they're certified at that point. So yes, the certification doesn't take long. If you can work in that unit and you think, yes, I think this is good, I want to get certified, that is good. We get taxed. We don't realize our money. The money is sweet. When you help nurses are paid $60 per hour, $70 per hour. Yeah, nurses get paid real good in the United States. Yeah. Oh yes, I'm so sorry. I didn't talk about the higher band for USA. Higher band for USA, your overall band is 6.5, but you must have 7 in speaking. They need that. You must have 7 in speaking, but apart from that, with 6.5 you are good, but 7 in speaking. So yeah, it's general nursing. It doesn't general nursing is good because that is who you are at that point. So we get taxed for everything. We get paid every 2 weeks. For travel nurses, they get paid every week. But as much as you're getting paid every week, you're getting taxed every week. Week in, week out, your pay is taxed. And it depends on where you are. Some states, you get to pay the state tax and the federal tax. Some states, they don't take the federal tax. It's just, they don't take the state tax. It's just the federal tax. Some states, you pay local. You pay local tax, you pay state, and you pay. So it depends on the state that you are that determines what you do. As a green card holder, you can go to school. If you want to do your bachelor's, you are entitled to grants, what we call grants. You can get free money. Then you can get support from the government because you are a green card holder. But for masters, most of the time, you don't get grants from the government or support. You can get loan, of course. Okay, no problem. Yeah, you can get loan, but you will not get free money. But you can apply for scholarship. There are so many scholarship opportunities all over. So you have to look for that. For childcare is expensive and it is tiring. It is not readily available. There is no maternity leave in the United States. I get people ask me that question all the time. There is no maternity leave in the United States. So if you get pregnant and you want to go on leave, you either use your paid time off, like, okay, maybe you've accumulated some paid time off, you want to use that for your baby or, or your child. And that's why you see that people work like till they are ready to go to have their baby. You have to because you're trying to accumulate more hours, or people go for unpaid time leave. And yes, when it comes to childcare, you either put your baby at the daycare, which you get to pay every week, or you work with your partners. Some people do days while their partners do nights. I'm a night nurse, I do nights. My partner work during the day. So you have to find a way to balance that equation. Yes. So whether it's state-based is state-based. When I was in North Dakota, you see, coming from Nigeria and coming into a state that has a weather of minus 40 degrees Celsius, it's crazy, but it's doable, right? All you have to do is just be prepared and warm up and all of that. But there are some states that are warm, like Arizona, like near Mexico. Texas is not bad. Florida is humid, so those are things you want to look into. Where do I want to go? Is very important. Even when you're working with an agency, you might want to tell them that, okay, this is my preference. They might not give you that, but it's good you let them know what you will like and what you won't like, because some people, the weather can be so harsh on you and you actually fall sick. So if it's something you can't deal with, you need to let them know. When it comes to religion, people don't care who you are. They don't. I've asked people call me and ask me, okay, what's happening? Did they allow you to? I dress like this to work. It's just that I have to talk in my job, I do my thing. Nobody is asking you. You cannot talk about religion with your patients. It is not something you will be able to do because you have to draw that line. They don't talk religion at work. You don't get to work and in Jesus' name we pray, or this is what I see. Whatever your patient believe at that point is their business. So you don't get to get included in their, and you might not have a community. You might not have your religious organization around. It might just be you. When I was in North Dakota, my family was the only Muslim family. We were the only Nigerians. We are the only Black. So those are things you're going to come through. You are going to experience when you get into the United States. So you need to make up your mind. I know that you might be lonely sometimes, but they are very supportive anyway, and that's it. But as much as you can get support, racism is real too. Even in Nigeria, that we have all Nigerians. Not everybody likes you, right? And that's what happens everywhere too. Not everybody will like you. It could be your skin color, it could be your aura, it could be what you're radiating, it could be, some people just don't like you just seeing you. So it happens everywhere. So it's not because of anything. Nobody cares what you do or what you believe in, as much as you don't include them in your business. A female, and that's another thing, gender assumption. You don't assume gender here. You need to ask your patient, what would you like to be addressed as? What is your gender identity? Most of them are females and they want to be addressed as a male. Most of them will tell you they are transgender. Most of them will tell you to use the E pronoun for them. Some people will tell you to use the multiple pronoun for them, like, oh, when you're addressing me, you address me as they. You talk to me as we, I am an entity. So that's something you want to have in mind too. Is one of the shock you are going to get through here, but it happens, And yes, it shouldn't be, it should be something we should put our mind, like at the back of our mind. It happens. We don't do gender assumption here. You don't apologize. Like somebody sneeze and you're saying, I'm sorry, or somebody cough and you're saying sorry. No, they'll tell you, what did you do? You didn't cause me to cough. You didn't make me cough. So why are you saying sorry to me? So, oh, bless you. Or you don't say anything at all. They don't care if you don't say anything. You might come to work and not greet anybody, and you will still maintain your professional decorum. Nobody is seeing you. Your CEO might pass you and might say, hey, good morning to you. We call ourselves by first name basis, and everybody respect that. And you don't come and say ma'am or sir to them because they feel offended. You understand? So it's not like when I get to work in the morning, I have to go and give my good morning, ma. No, nobody sees you. Come to work, take over your patient, and get to work. Don't, as much as they like to make friends and they don't like to be, like over familiarization. They talk a lot. They can tell you their life story in a jiffy. Like, yeah, I have 2 dogs, I have 5 families, I have. When that is done, you can work with people and not have their contact. You can work with people and not know where they live. That is something we don't do in Nigeria, right? We have our numbers. You see people and greet them. Hey, how you doing? They can give you something, and tomorrow you like, oh, good morning, thank you for yesterday. And the person look like, okay, like, I don't understand what you're talking about. That's who they have. After the thank you have said yesterday, it is done and they are done with it. So they don't expect you to come back to come and start saying thank you, I'm sorry, and all of that to them. So when it comes to, you can drive to like seriously, if you don't have a problem, if you don't have a cause for police to stop you, nobody will stop you on the road. Like, you are not breaking any rules, so nobody will stop you. But when it comes to police and you are being flagged down by a police officer, safety is priority in the United States, and that's something they take priority, that they focus on. So the police might be flagging you from a distance, and if you feel like you're not safe enough to park, you continue driving until you can get to a place where you can park away from the road. You're not going to obstruct traffic, you're not going to cause any trouble. You can enter into a mall, you can enter into the next building or to the next street, just clear off the road. They're not expecting you to stop immediately at that point that like they flash you down and you just stop. No, you're going to find a safe place to park, and you can have your conversation with the police officer as that goes on and all of that. We've spoken about tax deduction, I've spoken about pay, we use dollar, of course, and I think that's all I have right now. If I get you right, to get started, one must write both NCLEX and yes, of course, you need IELTS and you need NCLEX. NCLEX is like their board of nursing exam. So I think that's all I have right now. And yes, you can do overtime. You're expected to work 36 hours a week, 40 hours, whatever. And that is like three 12-hour shifts. So once you are done with your 12-hour shift, that is it for the week. So you can do Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and you are off Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday until the next Monday. If that is the schedule you want, you tell your organization, this is the schedule I want. If you are somebody that struggles in the morning and you want to be strictly a night nurse, you tell them that is what you want. So nobody is imposing any shift on you. Nobody will tell you this is the shift you have to do. No. because they don't want you to struggle. They want you to be able to function well. I am a night nurse. I do strictly night duties. I cannot work during the day because I struggle during the day, right? And apart from the fact that it helps my childcare, then I struggle. So my mental health is very important to me. Do you understand? So once they know that this is who you are, you do night shift, nobody's going to force you to do that. So what happens now if I'm picking an extra shift, like, okay, I'm working 4 days in that week. So that means that 12 hours, 12 by 4, that's 48 hours, right? That means I'm 8 hours over the regular 40-week shift I'm supposed to do for that week. And that makes it, the 8 hours is overtime for me. So if I'm getting paid $24 per hour, or okay, let me use $30 per hour as a round figure, $30 per hour, I'm going to get paid $30 per hour for 40 hours. The 8 hours overheat is going to come at the rate of 1.5. It's going to come at the rate of $45 per hour for the remaining 8 hours because it is overtime for that week. And in the United States, you can choose to do 6 jobs. You can, seriously, I tell you, what are you willing to sacrifice? What are you willing to give? They don't care what you do. They don't, you see, I'm seriously. Some hospitals might tell you, oh, you have done 60 hours this week. Do you think you want to take a break? And all of that. But some hospitals, or maybe if you have like 2 or 3 jobs, as long as you are showing up and you're not messing up at work, nobody cares how many jobs you hold. Don't come late to work because you are on the clock. Do your work when you're supposed to and clock out. I have somebody that comes to my place of work, is like a PRN. You can be a contract, and that's another thing. You can be a contract staff in like 3 hospitals. You don't have to be a full-time nurse. Nobody's expecting you to be. You can choose the hours in as many hospitals as you want. And that's another thing we don't have the privilege of in Nigeria. You can say, okay, I want to work in 3 hospitals and I want to be like a part-time nurse because I want to pick my hours. I want to be able to, I want that flexibility. You don't have to be full-time nurse anywhere. So you can pick your hours, bam, 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 and you are done. Nobody is expecting you, but it's just that if you're a full-time nurse, it comes with benefits. If you're a part-time nurse, it comes, so it depends on what you want. You have to make that choice of what you want. The use of phone at work, it is institution based, but most institution, most facility, they are a phone, like a no phone zone use. You can't use phone at work, especially at the nursing station or at patient care area. You can't be on the phone. You can't be making call. You can't be talking to your patient and like, okay, I'll call you back and all that. You can't do that. So sometimes for hospitals that allow you to have your phone on you, your phone has to be either in silence or vibration. And if you have a call and you're busy with a patient, you cannot leave to pick your call. When you're done or when you're free or you're done doing your chatting and you think you have a call, you either go to the break room to pick up your calls or go to somewhere. Just go somewhere, pick your call, not like you're picking call on the corridor, like everybody can see me and picking my call and all of that. Break is 30 minutes for morning shift, for afternoon shift. Most hospitals, they run to 12 hours. So for the day shift or the night shift, break is 30 minutes and it is unpaid. It's not paid. So most institutions will make sure that you go for your 30 minutes break. But when you cannot go, that okay, they know that, oh, you cannot go, then you get paid for your 30 minutes. But if not, and you cannot sleep at work, as in people report that they take your pictures. Seriously, it's not like, okay, maybe I'm not doing anything or I'm doing my documentation. You can doze, of course, things happen, but no, you cannot sleep. You cannot not sleep at work. Your 30 minutes break, you can choose to go and use it to set alarm and sit down somewhere and sleep off, but it cannot be more than that 30 minutes. You have to be back on the floor and continue your work. So I think I've basically covered everything I have here, and then we can take questions. So yes, if I come in US with my husband was invited, do I still need the help of nursing agency? No, you don't need the help of a nursing agency. If you're already in the United States, you can do but if you want to convert that H1B visa to a green card, yes, you need a nursing agency to help you with your green card processing for yourself and your husband. So yes, I think that's all I have. And as I can take questions.
I'm sure everybody are clapping, but you can only hear me clap. Thank you so much for that. Yeah, it was really detailed. I think you personalized the experience for us, and I've been able to relate with you at a certain level. It's as if I'm in the US with you anyway, the way you're able to present it. Thank you so much. Yeah, question time actually. If you have any question, please raise up your hand or you drop the question in the chat box. I have
It's really like shedding more light on the agencies. Thank you once again. What do you want to know about the agencies? There are different agencies and they all have different contracts. Some would tell you that, okay, like Avant, when I was at Avant contract was 6,240 hours. They deal with hours. So if you finish your contract hours in 1 year, you're free to go. They are not holding you back. But for some agencies, they work with years. So no matter how much extra time you do, is not counting towards your hours because you have a contract of 2 years with them. So, and that's why I'm saying you need to read your contract well. And it is not like the first hospital you go to, that is when you can go to some hospital and struggle as an internationally educated nurse, and that's okay. It's okay to struggle. It's okay to ask questions. It's okay to not feel comfortable. But what is not okay is for you to stay in a toxic environment. Stay because, oh, I'm new. I don't want to say anything. You have to speak up. If something is not right, you have to speak up. It is not right. So yes, if you're working with an agency, you need to say your agency, this is what is happening. I don't feel secure here. I don't feel safe. Because at the end of the day, it's your license. The issue with the board of nursing here is once they report you or something happen, your license will first be suspended before the now the process. And seriously, the bill is per hour billing. Your bill does not stop. Your rent does not stop. You pay. Oh yes, I didn't talk about rent. You pay your rent every month. As much as they make you sign a 1-year lease that you cannot break, if you break your lease before the 1 year is done, you have to pay a particular percentage of penalty, but you get to pay every month. So your bills are waiting for you. Your monthly bills are waiting for you. They don't stop, right? So you have to, your license comes first because that is who you are. You have to protect it. So if you think where I am is not working for me or what my agency is not doing for me at this time, you can buy yourself off your agency, or you can tell them to take you out of that facility into somewhere place where you can flourish. Thank you.
All right, yeah, thank you for the response. You mentioned 30 minutes break. Is it 30 minutes for the whole hours? And the shift, 30 minutes, I'm thinking.
It's 30 minutes of 12 hours. So most of the time you clock in, yeah, it's small and that's it. You get paid in the United States, but for every hour, for every token we pay you for every dollar you earn, you work for it. It's 30 minutes break everywhere.
Because in the US, in the UK, yeah, we have close to about an hour, 15 minutes.
God, I am so jealous of you.
I mean, like 30 minutes, that's like once. Is it 15, 15 or 30 once?
No, once you clock out, 30 minutes, you clock back in, 30 minutes. You have to clock out.
That's a lot. I see why you switch from ER to psychiatric nursing.
No, it's not even because of that. I was just burnt out. I was tired, and of course, I wanted to go into perinatal nursing. It was fun while it lasted, but it's been 14 years of emergency nursing. So yes,
I'm actually an emergency nurse. I said I'm going to ask you why the transition really. I mean, like it's two different specialties.
Yeah, true. I tell people this all the time. I had perinatal depression with my baby, my last baby, my 4th child, and that's something people don't talk about. That's something that is still not in the forefront, So everybody thought it was pregnancy hormone, like this pregnancy really shook you, But I knew I was drowning. I knew I was not there. This was not pregnancy hormone. I was sinking in, and yes, I need to help other women out there. And that's why I'm doing my nurse practitioner program right now in psychiatric-mental health. So I need to be able to advocate for other women and help them as much as I can. So yes, and seriously, emergency nursing has really prepared me for whatever it is. I've seen it all. So what else? I'm just
Yeah.
like, okay,
Oh wow,
let's go.
that's interesting to know, because you're going in not for the money now, you're going in for the passion, and the drive is there for you to actually do more when it comes to mental health, particularly for pregnant women and those after birth. Okay, so I know there are a lot of questions, but like I said earlier, anyone that have questions, just raise their hand. There's some people dropping questions. But before we go to that, I have questions as well. How safe is the US really? Like there's a whole media reporting about how violence happens in the US. I mean, we see all of this on CNN. Tell us the reality on ground for nurses. Yeah, you mentioned that US is safe, but what the perception out there is like gun everywhere. Everybody's licensed to carry guns. So yeah, can you just say briefly about that?
Seriously, Nazabiodun, is there somewhere that is really safe in the world? No,
So
serious. This is me being sincere. Is
yeah,
there really something?
let me say something about that. Those that joined in for the island presentation, the way they describe Ireland, I feel like that place is close to heaven, man. Like it's safe. It's like they are just saying like it's safe, safe, safe. It's really safe in there in Ireland. I'm not advocating. I've not been there, but I
I
mean like
know. I
yeah.
heard when she was, now, you seriously, she made me like, Abba.
Ah,
Should we
ah, ah,
just all relocate to Ireland? Why
yes,
now?
so
What is
let's
it
go there.
itself? We all just come to Ireland. Well, the truth about it is security is state dependent. That is true. That's true about it. And some locations are more prone to crime than the others. So I've never been particularly
You have never felt
harassed.
unsafe. You have never felt unsafe in the
Exactly.
US.
I've never, I've never felt unsafe. I've never been harassed. I've never been attacked or something. So, and I don't have a personal experience or somebody close to me as much as I can say. And that's the truth about it. So
Yeah, I
I
understand.
just see me, I believe it's all in good hands. Shit
Yeah,
happens, things happen. I'm sorry for the swear word. Things happen, things happen,
yeah.
but and that is why
You can't deny
that's why
that
I
fact.
said you need to determine what state do I want, what do I really want, because some states are more prone to crime, they're more prone to security issues, and that is the truth about it. So you might want to think about what you want, what location, what locality, and all of that.
Well, thank you.
So
Please, can you clarify a little bit about citizenship and green card? I know Nigerian nurses go to the US with green card. They
mhm.
enter with green card. What is
Mm.
the difference between the green card and citizenship, or are they the
Oh,
same?
okay. Okay, so as a green card holder, you are a permanent resident. You are documented. You are entitled to free healthcare if you don't work. Like, okay, maybe you can apply for Medicaid and Medicare. You can apply for food stamp. Like, you have all the benefits that a citizen has or a citizen has, but you cannot vote as a permanent resident. You cannot vote in the United States. And after 5 years as a permanent resident, you can apply for your citizenship. You're going to have to write the exam and go through a particular process. And if you go to pass through it and all of that, they grant you citizenship and you're a citizen, then you can vote, you can apply for some government jobs and all of that. That's it. Seriously. The only thing is the vote
Oh,
and some government jobs, of course,
oh,
that they
yeah.
won't give you because you're a permanent resident. And some of those jobs said, if they cannot find a citizen that is qualified and they have a permanent resident that is qualified, sometimes they bend the rules. So it's majorly the voting thing that you can't vote as permanent resident. So yeah.
I had to ask the question because I see how people celebrate their citizenship in the US. When people have their citizenship, it's like, oh, finally, it's as if it's an order, and finally, I'm now a US citizen. A
Well,
lot.
yeah, well, okay, maybe I should say that as a US citizen, it opens way for other communities and other countries. I don't know, so I don't want to say like you might not need visa to enter so many countries. Do you understand? So it
Mm,
comes with your own pegs and all of that. I'm a US citizen. I can go to Southern and tell them I want job. And of course, somebody reached out to me on LinkedIn about a job in Saudi. and she was asking me if I was dual
Interesting.
citizen. Do you understand? So if
Okay.
at that point I was a US citizen, of course I could have gotten that job. Do you understand? But I told her I was a green card holder and we couldn't continue. So yeah, it comes with its own perks and all of that. As a US citizen, you can enter anywhere now, you know. So as a green card holder too, you can, because you are documented, you have your, so, but you know, but in the US, so there's no discrimination. As long as you're a green card holder, it's just that you can't vote, and some jobs they won't give you. So
Okay.
that's it.
If someone wants to actually further their education in the US, a lot of people prefer to do education in the UK because it's quite affordable compared to. Is that the reality?
Well, it depends on what you want.
Let's
Like
just
when
say
I did my
masters in
bachelor's,
nursing.
okay, when I did my bachelor's, it was $18,000.
10,000.
But
Okay.
yes, but because and US, they consider the number of children you have, your pay range, and all of that. I got a grant of about, was it 7,000 or 9,000? I think I got a grant of over 7,000, and that is free money. Then I got another scholarship of over one. So eventually, I paid like almost half of the money you get for my bachelor's. But for my master's is 2-year program, and well, see, it has, you have to think about schools too. Some schools are private institutions, some schools are state. For state school, as long as you have been staying in that state for 1 year, you are entitled to pay in-state fee. Like right now, my master's is 25,000 for the 2 years. You understand? Some institutions are offering the same course for $40,000 for 2 years. Some institutions are offering that same course for $50,000, for $60,000. So you have to choose your what will I call it? So some people just want the big name of, okay, yes, the school. Yeah, fine. I am attending a state school and it's well recognized and all of that. So yeah, I'll go with my $25,000 in 2 years, knowing that I don't want to take loan. Of course, you have access to loan, and you can pay the loan as long as you can pay the loan as like $50 per month. Nobody is pressuring you. Like in US, they'll tell you that we live on basic nothing shola. I don't know if we have exact, because as long as your credit rating is good, as long as you are owing the money and you're paying it back, and you know, no, but keep owing. People are owing as much as $200,000 in student loan because they want to keep going to school. You see people with 2 or 3 masters, they have started taking loans since they've been in bachelor. Do you understand? Since they have been doing their bachelor, so the loan is already accumulating, and of course, interest will climb the thing eventually. So it depends on what you want. Actually, I don't know how much school costs in the UK, but that's it. You have to choose your school, you have to choose what you want, and you have the loan. So go for it.
Okay. The thing is, for UK, the process is pretty much straightforward. You can start the process yourself and end it yourself without needing any agency. But obviously, the case is different for in the US.
Yeah, of course. You cannot come in
Yeah.
without an agent or a hospital, like a direct hospital hire, and the hospital is applying for you. So yes.
Are there hospitals like that when you self-fund yourself to do the processes, you get your
It is rare.
NCLEX and all?
It is rare, but it's possible.
Okay, okay.
More hospitals are looking into it though.
Oh yeah, but just like not like the NHS here in the UK, they help with the recruitment process themselves.
And you see, that's another thing about UK and the difference in US. UK healthcare setting is majorly government controlled, right?
Yeah.
In US, we have private, we have government. So it's just it's not, it's just that, okay, even if they are private, there are policies that have to be in place. And so you are not limited to, it has to be the government you have to work with. You can choose to work on your own. I can choose to like, okay, tomorrow I want to register my home care nursing program now. Like, okay, I want to be doing home care. And as long as I fulfill all requirements and I do whatever is expected of me, carry go. Wow. Do you understand? So
that's it. I mean, that's the next question I want to ask. can nurses actually do explore and do businesses?
Oh
Do
boy,
multiple
people are
jobs?
doing businesses, home care,
Like
especially
that
nurse
Nigeria
practitioners.
Jama now, you know what I'm
I'm
saying?
telling you, see, there are processes. As long as you can go through the processes and do whatever you have to do, nobody is stopping you. See, I tell you, the opportunities in USA, if you sit down like this and think about it, and that's why I said, what are you ready to give? It's easier for single people.
Wow.
You can choose to be a travel nurse. You get paid every week. You can choose to do 3 months in this hospital, then go to another hospital to do 3 months, go to another state to go and do another 3 months. You as in keep moving around, jumping around. Nobody, as long as if you have a job or if you have a business, you're not breaking any law. And it's legit. Forget it. Continue.
Okay, so you mentioned something about nurses not using phone at work. How do nurses communicate with themselves, with the doctors in the work? Is there like
Oh no, with the hospitals, you use the hospital landline, and there are some hospitals, some hospitals, they give you phones that you use at work,
to
the
communicate with?
hospital phone. Then, but some hospitals too, we use what we call Vocera. So all you have to do is everybody's name is in the Vocera. I'll just press it, Vocera, call Kafayat Popoola. So if I'm at work, Vocera will call me. Oh, there's a call from Abiodun Oluwatobi. Acknowledge, receive. Do you understand? Okay, receive. Then you talk to me, I'll listen to you. You need my help, I come to you. And like job description too. So I didn't talk about that. The patients cover lights. They have different stuff like the bathroom, water, and all of that. So for hospitals that use Vocera, for hospitals that use communicator, once they press the button, the call directly goes goes to the person that is supposed to answer that call. Do you understand? Like if my patient needs to use the bathroom and she pressed the call light and we use Vocera, the call automatically goes to my CNA or my PCT. It doesn't come to me. The only reason why it will come to me is if my PCT is not picking that call, or if my PCT acknowledge the call, or my PCT is busy. So the call will come to me because I'm the next point of contact for my patient. If I'm also busy and I'm not picking that call, the call will go to the nurse lead for that shift. So, so you that's it. You have the land phone, you have the hospital phone, or you have a communicator that you can use in the hospital when you're on duty. And when you are going home, you release it and return it to them.
That's beautiful. How tech friendly is nursing practice there in the US? Is it now tech based? Because most things are now on the system. There's ESR.
Oh boy, different hospitals use different EMRs. So you might be in this hospital and you're using what we call Epic, and you go to the other hospital, they are using Healthland, and you go to the other hospital, they are using
It's tech friendly, basically.
very, 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 very. But the thing is, they will always train you. They will train you in. You will always do orientation. So it's only the psych hospitals that are not tech friendly. But other hospitals, other specialty, they have.
Thank you so much. Lastly, for my own question, there are a lot of specialties in nursing, but like UK now, I think mental health is the hot kick. For US, which specialty is the hot kick?
Well, mental health is kicking. If I want to use that. Well, see, the truth about it is substance abuse and addiction is a major problem here. One, true. Two, depression is a big issue. See, as much as we will be sincere with ourselves that you might not even know your next door neighbor, COVID really affected a lot of people. They can't even go out. Now people don't even want to stop working from home, not because they don't want to go out, but because maybe I've added weight, I'm something else and all of that. So COVID messed up with our mental health, coupled with the fact that we don't have adequate support system. So yes, mental health is still kicking, if I can use that word. It's still kicking.
It's all right. I won't want you to think much about that. Can you just Can you just say one or two things about NCLEX generally?
Well,
I mean, for the
see,
success story, like people
NCLEX
that
is
are
individualized, and that is serious. That is what I need to tell you about that. It is individualized. Our Nigerian nurses, we are very brilliant. But you need to, when you're preparing for NCLEX, you need to take your Nigerian nurse mentality out of NCLEX when you're doing it. Because in NCLEX hospital, everything is perfect. The prioritization is perfect. The most needed is perfect, you know, like everything has to be done right. And that's true about it. We don't have job description in Nigeria. So you cannot use that to answer your NCLEX questions. Especially even when you are practicing for NCLEX, you cannot use that for your NCLEX questions. I did 75 questions in under less than 1 hour. And I cannot use that to judge anybody. You know, I can't use mine as a yardstick for like, oh, why would you do your own 75 question under 6 hours? But please, you need to take your nursing, your Nigerian nursing mentality out
of the
of,
equation.
yeah, exactly. It will help you eventually. Because you see, and when you are preparing for NCLEX, I will actually plead for you to, as much as try to put what you are reading into practice. I was a nurse in Luz. I was in the emergency room. So I guess that helped me though. I was able to put so many things into practice. It helped me a lot because I saw a lot of the conditions we were reading about. I was able to talk to some of our doctors. And please, nurses, learn to set IVs, please. Because you cannot escape it if you come to US. You will set IVs. You will set lines if you could die. So please, sure. So yes, please do. It's not a doctor's job.
Yeah. Somebody is asking about Avant, that he got rejected with Avant, that 1 year before I applied to.
Well, I think Avant is 6 months. So I think after 6 months, you can apply back to Avant. So you can send them a mail. They will either tell you if they want you to apply or if they don't want your application again. And if you register with Avant and Avant is not coming back to you, you can apply with Sharewater, you can apply with OGP. I tell people to have options, you know, have your options so that it will be easy to make your decisions when you want to make it, not just get limited to one. So, yeah.
Can somebody want to practice as a nurse educator in the US? Routes for nurse educator that are doing nursing education here in Nigeria. Instead of going to work as a nurse, going to the US now to practice as a nurse educator.
Well, the truth about it is, as long as you're coming with an agency, you have to do bedside initially before you go for your nurse educator. So while you are doing your bedside nurse, either as a med-surg nurse, then you want to start digging in your feet or putting down your feet as a nurse educator in your facility. Let them see what you can do. Then you want to ask if you have to do a certification course as a nurse educator in US because you're a foreign trained nurse as a nurse educator. You have your master's, right? But you might have to do some other courses and that's it. Then you can be a nurse educator. But most facility will like what, you know, I tell people for US is proof of concept. What can you do? Once they can trust you, once they can see what you're doing, seriously, the sky is beyond the limit. You will just keep flying, and that's it.
Somebody asked that, can they start the process with their registered nursing certificate?
Yes, definitely. That's all you need.
Yeah, somebody then asked how lucrative is psychiatric nursing in use. I think you already commented on that.
Very lucrative.
Yeah. But someone asks again that what is the requirement for a United Kingdom registered nurse that want to move to the US? I think the process
is the same thing. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
It's
Okay, so
basically the
someone
same
said,
thing.
do you get your
Even if
contract?
I'm coming to the UK now, I still have to go through what you went
through
through.
the place. But it will be quite easy because I mean you have access to internet, light, everything. You'll be able to do all those exams, close to your,
Yes.
I just believe the process will be quite easy.
I don't want to go and do IELTS again. I was serious. I was tempted to come to UK earlier this year so that I can be closer to my sister for childcare support. That thing, it's time.
Yeah. Do you want to talk about childcare? Because even here in the UK,
Oh
childcare is a
God.
big deal. Childcare is a big deal here in the UK.
See, please, for anybody that is married, especially if they're the female, you need to be on the same page with your husband. As in, and I think that's something we don't talk about enough. Your husband needs to know that he might not get what he wants when it comes in your partner. Let me not use your even as a wife, like, okay, maybe you're the male nurse, your spouse might not get what they want immediately when they come in here. And I'm going to use my spouse as a typical example. I'm very practical. He was a senior manager in Pfizer before we left Nigeria. So it wasn't like, but when we came in, he had to take something way lower. At a point, he had to stop working because I started working when my baby was 3 months. He had to, at a point, he had to stop working so that he can take care of 4 children while I work. And at the point, we had to like justify, work it together. So it's either you get a nanny, living nanny, which means that almost all your paycheck is going for childcare, or you work with your partner where you do night duty like I am doing and my husband is doing day shift, and maybe you can cope with that. And if not, your child will have to go to daycare. So you're still going to cut into the paycheck, but it can still be managed as long as the two of you are working and you are within your budget. And that's it. The good thing about US is you can always plan ahead. Like, okay, this is what we are spending in a month. You kind of help your situation. So you know what you are planning or what you're spending ahead. So yeah, childcare is a lot.
Being on the same page with you
is exhausting. Seriously, trust me.
I think one thing that I think is also important in situations like this is that people need to make decisions at early stage. I think it's very much
exactly important. It's very important.
Relocation decisions should be made very early.
You will get depressed. I see. It's not. I'm not trying to make you feel scared, but seriously, you need that support because you can't do without it. You can't do without the support. Especially if you have children. Please don't do it alone.
All right, so someone asked that how do they join in late? Yeah, for those that join in late, the replay is going to be available. So we'll send you the link. You can watch the replay. Once you have NCLEX, once you pass your NCLEX and your license in the US, can you also practice in Canada? I think you can be allowed. Someone mentioned something like that.
I think it's the same NCLEX, but you still have to fulfill whatever the board of nursing you want to register with in Canada wants you to do. So they still have some other requirements you have to do. So yes, you still have to fulfill those requirements.
Okay. How lucrative is nurse anesthesia in the US?
Seriously. Oh yes, that is
another hot cake.
Oh boy, CRNA is like, the hottest of the hottest cake. Is just that your clinical hours, the process of getting the CRNA is exhausting. So yeah.
Oh yeah, before you get certified. And I don't think
because there are numbers of clinical hours you have to complete. So that's a lot for a lot of people. Wow. It's a lot, but it's CRNA is hot cake, as in hottest cake, sir. It's hotter than fire.
Oh my God. So somebody said, do you get your contract from the agency first before
Of course. You have a contract with your agents before they do your I-140 processing.
What's the I-140 processing?
That is the initial petition I told you about with the
USCIS. For your visa.
They know they know that you're in the process with them before they can start.
I think before they even start anything, any journey with you, you need to sign that contract.
Exactly. They need to know.
Someone said, where do they get the replay? We'll send the replay to the Telegram group, basically. And we'll broadcast it on all our social media platforms. So wherever you get the link to join this meeting, the person will be able to send you the replay.
Isabella, please, can we let Damila ask a question? Can you unmute her, please?
Oh, Damila, you should be able to unmute yourself now.
Okay.
Yeah, that was a long grace. I hope your hands are not paining you, Damila. Sorry.
I hope so to myself. Maybe I have to take some analgesics after
this. Don't worry. When you get to the US, you'll be fine.
All right. I'll tell Kafi you said so.
Hello. Yes, so hi, Dami.
I'm fine. Yeah, that was a really great one. Awesome, I must say. And besides, if there was an award to be given for most concise and most comprehensive presentation, yours should be number one. So
Wow.
what I want to
Thank
say
you.
is,
Dami, are you there? I guess we lost her.
Wow.
As she was about to ask a question, and then the network. I mean, like, I understand Nigerian network really be crappy sometimes. I believe we're going to have her back in.
Yeah, we should.
Yes. Let's just wait for a while.
And that's we need to. The people believe that once you're in the US, network is everywhere. Yes, light is everywhere, network is everywhere, water is everywhere. But trust me, you pay for everything. It's not free. Nothing is free.
You do. This month,
Nothing
I'm
is
a
free.
little bit cringy this month.
Nothing is free.
I'm paying like times 3 of my electricity.
What did you do?
I don't even know. We on the heater. I guess we had to.
It's winter now, my brother. As in the heat,
winter
the
period.
cold is something else.
Really, really crazy. I mean, it's so crazy. And then when I saw the bill, I just felt like,
Thank you, Abdullah Sulaiman.
I'm just working, and the money is just going to bills and all that.
I'm telling you.
And then when you explain all of this to people, sometimes people can't do it because
no, they don't get it.
Bills are quite cheaper in Nigeria, so it really, it's when you just come in and just realize that you have literally paid for everything.
I'm telling you, because see, another thing is I understand that things are crazy back home right now. But there's inflation here too. Like everything is expensive right now. Like everything is expensive. You go to the store and like inflation, the price tag is changing every time. Like,
inflation is really eating.
So please, how cost of living compared to salary and taxes? Well, it depends on your family size though. Your cost of living as a nurse and your pay should be able to take care of you. Like I told you, I have okay. Like I told you, there was a time I had to stop working because you needed to help me with the children. Then there was a time you had to take something lower because of So, but at that time, I have a family of 6, and we survived. We were fine. So you will be fine. It's just that, like I said, you have to cut your coat according to your clothes, not according to your size. You will be fine.
Damn, we lost you for a minute.
Yeah, it was. I think it was the poor reception. So I was going to talk about specialties, and I've done some research about the specialties, and I've figured their requirements are different, and then their requirements vary. And apart from that, the GP. So I want to talk about the grading system. How do you match it? Like we do a 5-point grading system, and they do a 4-point grading system. So how do you reconcile both? And then how do you make yourself quite competitive for different kind of specialties? Like for me, I've been testing the waters about the CRNA you spoke about. And then I've also been thinking about family health practitioner. So I want to ask about the how they reconcile our GP and how our academic qualifications, how it fits in. That's one. Then another thing is I've read about the competition in some specialties, like the CRNA is quite competitive because there are limited number of schools in the programs, and then even their citizens are finding it difficult to get placements and all that. So how do you make yourself competitive for a postgraduate course that's clinical based, not academic, not education based this time around? Because I know they have the BSN to DNP, they have the BSN to MSN and things like that. Then they have the PhD pathway too. So I want you to speak a bit about that. And one other thing I want to say is that the NCLEX, I think last year, I got a mail from the NCBSN that they stopped or they scrapped the run out of time system of NCLEX questions. because I've been studying for NCLEX for quite some time. So I think they scrapped it. I want to verify that. And another thing I want to ask about is there is this immigration process that is giving backlogs to Nigeria, not just Nigerian nurses anyway, but all other nurses outside the US, and they're finding it difficult to get visa interview placement, probably because of the COVID restrictions and all that. So I want to ask, and then they keep screaming out loud about being short-staffed and all that. So what is the American Nursing Association doing to put pressure on the Department of State to ensure they prioritize foreign nurses, so people outside the border that are past NCLEX can get interviewed? So those are my questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Damilola. So I'm going to talk about the schooling system. Like I said, the requirements for each course is dependent on the school. When I applied, because I did my bachelor's here. When I wanted to do my bachelor's, let me start from there. When I wanted to do my bachelor's, I had some school that I applied to that wanted me to evaluate my RN and HRM from Nigeria. Okay. Then send to them, or let the evaluation body send to them. But there was a particular school that was willing to take my student copy of my transcript, and they did the evaluation themselves. So I'm going to look for a copy of that and explain to you what they got. And when I wanted to do my master's, because I did my bachelor's here, some school were willing to take my transcripts for bachelor's and just let me continue, knowing that it was a top-up. It was just 15-month program, right? Okay. Because I was a nurse already from Nigeria. But for some schools, so that it's actually school dependent. Whatever you want to do here is school dependent. Some school will still want you to evaluate that certificate, despite the fact that you have a bachelor's in the United States. They still want you to evaluate your nursing education back home and have it sent to them separately. Do you understand? Okay. So my own school, University of Texas Tyler, was willing to accept the evaluation done for me by my initial institution. Do you get? So let me see. I just want to give you an example of what they eventually came up with for me as okay, foreign. This is it. Okay, yes. So for my RN and RM, they gave me a 3.17. And it was an equivalent of associate in nursing. They did not equate it to like a bachelor's. Like the two of them, they gave it an associate of science in nursing. That's it. But they gave me a 3.17 overall, over 4. That was according to the Foreign Credential Service of America. Do you understand? So it depends on what credentialing body you're using. That will eventually submit whatever they see on your transcript and be able to give you a feedback, and it now depends on what your school wants. For my bachelor's, I was able to have a 3.98. So with a 3.17, what my school needed at that point was a 60 credit hours. What I had with my bachelor's were 36 credit hours. With this one, I have 84 credit hours. So I'm well even overboard, right? They were willing to take that. Okay, but I have a school here, University of North Dakota, who is not ready to take that from a colleague of mine that we did the same program in the United States, in the same university. They still want him to evaluate his certificate through West. So it is school dependent. Whatever requirement they want is school dependent at that particular point. Making yourself sellable or like stand out, it's dependent on you. I tell seriously, don't overshoot it. USA is proof of concept. Trust me, it is proof of concept. They see you. They see what you're doing. You don't have to like loud it, like, okay, I'm doing this. They see it. The evidence is there. They know what you are capable of doing. They know what you're bringing out. So if in that kind of situation, you want to go for your CRNA course, and your hospital have somebody that is willing to take you as a, the problem with most people is preceptorship and the facility to take them in for their clinical hours. Okay. So if you are able to prove yourself worthy and people are seeing what you're putting in, right, you might be able to get easily. And another thing is you need to network. You need to network. Sometimes you go out of your way to make friends with people. Sometimes you might have to pay for it. That's just because people are paying for preceptorship. Sometimes you have to pay for it. See, I'm not going to say people in USA don't read. We Blacks, we read a lot. Like when you see people doing CRNA, when you see people doing masters here, when you see people doing PhD, Black people are like, we are like there. Do you get? But what are you willing to give for what you want? So that's it. Put yourself out there, make friends, connect, network. When you need help, you get it. I'm not telling you that it's going to be easy all the time, but it kind of come at a price, but the price might be your connection and friendship that you're willing to build. So yes. The CRNA in USA is not equivalent to post-basic nurse anesthetic program. The CRNA here is like you're like a consultant, like, you are going to be like an anesthetist. You put your patient to sleep and all of that. You monitor your patient. So if you come here, you will have to go through the CRNA program in itself. So it's not equivalent. Can I self-process my NCLEX without? Yes, you can self-process your NCLEX without an agent. It is when you are done with your NCLEX, when you pass your NCLEX, that you need an agency to help you to sort out the immigration process. So yes. I think that we lost Damla again. I hope she comes back in before we end the session and let me know if I successfully answer that question. Do we have any other question? I think I answered our question. Elizabeth, are you there? Can anybody hear me? Hey, it's like I'm getting on here. Please, what materials will you suggest for NCLEX preparation? There are a lot of materials out there. Avant actually gave me materials then. They sent in books for us to read, and eventually I had to use UWorld at the end. So whatever you read, I'm trying to remember the name of the book now. Let me check. I'm so sorry. Let me check if something I can't remember. I'm trying to remember the name of the book we used then. Okay. Oh, okay. Betty. Okay, yes, Illustrator Guide. I used Illustrator Guide for NCLEX, and it was so detailed. It was explanatory, and there was a prioritization book we used then. There are so many books online. Some you might have to buy, some we can. Please, in a chronology, can you just list the step-by-step until one gets to work in the United States? Okay, chronologically, there are like 10 steps actually. You need to apply for your CES evaluation. Of course, you have your license. So you need to apply for your CES evaluation. You need to apply to a board of nursing, the board of nursing that you want. You need a background check. You need to register for your exam. Once you receive your ATT, don't forget that when you apply for CES, you need your transcripts and license evaluation from Northern Council. You need transcript from your school. So you need background check. That is very important. If you are going with Texas Board of Nursing, you need jurisprudence exam. So you register for NCLEX, you receive your ATT, you apply for visa to test, you travel to make your NCLEX, you pass your NCLEX, then you apply with an agency to help you with the immigration process. And once the agency can help you, you are in the I-140 process, the MVC, and all of that. Please, one need POF when traveling to US. Well, I won't call it POF particular, but you need money that will help you to come settle in, because once you get in, you have to rent an apartment, maybe think about getting a small car and all of that. Like my agency will tell you that they expect you to come in with $7,500, but that was as at then. I don't know how much they're asking people to come in with now, but if you don't have up to that, come in, they will still, but you need relatively that before you start working and getting your paycheck and getting settled. So yes, you need a particular amount of money to be able to help you to settle. So we can't call it PF particularly. So it is individualized. So if you have $10,000, bring it. If you have $50,000, bring it, but it is not individualized. So yes, it's not like PF, but it's not like PO, like you have to submit your bank statement to somebody to be sure that you have money, because that's what your agency is doing for you. They're the one doing all of that documentation for you and proof and all of that, but you need money to bring in and help you in settling.
Thank you so much. It's been a wonderful presentation, and I believe that a lot of people have benefited from this. The replay will be available to the participants and those that were able to join today. Kafayat, I cannot express how joyful I am today, first for granting this meeting in such a short notice, and also for giving us a fantastic presentation. I think you have been able to deliver beyond expectations and you've been able to answer people's questions.
Damla is back, so let us ask if that answers our questions, and I think we're done. Dami, did we answer your question? Dami? Damla, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you.
Okay. Was I able to answer your question?
Yes, you were.
All right.
My network was playing tricks on me, but no problem.
All right. Thank you.
All right, that'll be all for now. Thank you all. The next session will be on Canada, how to move to Canada. I guess the options are now many. So it's either you choose US or you choose Ireland or you choose Canada, or you come here to the UK, or you go to Dubai. The options are obvious. But as for me, I know where I'm going to. I don't know about you.
You people, as long as I don't have to do our health again, I can try UK. Maybe just to have the UK license,
Yeah, I mean, like I have people here that have NCLEX and they are working here in the UK. So
I know.
They are dual license. There's someone that even said she asked for US and Canada, but she is here.
Wow.
So I mean, like the sky is your limit. Go for it.
Exactly. So you can, you can be licensed everywhere. So it's allowed.
Yeah, it's allowed. It's allowed. Thank you so much, everyone. At this point, we're going to end the meeting, and then I see you for the next meeting as well. Thank you so much. Kafayat, see my face, how grateful I am. I'm so grateful.
Thank you, no problem.
I've won my cap because of the coding here, but I'm seriously grateful. Thank you for visiting.
Thank you for having me. Thank you so much.
All right, we'll talk behind the camera.
All right, sure. All right.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.